Good evening and welcome to the Sparc meeting of the Record Show. The regular Sparc meeting, June 4th, 2025, is now called to order. Would the clerk please call roll?
Chair Velasco.
Here.
Vice Chair Carlton.
Here.
Committee Member Bickford.
Here.
Committee Member Dressler.
Here.
Committee Member Markow. Linda.
Linda.
Oh,
Here.
Committee Member Pishney.
Here.
Committee Member Tuthill.
Present.
We do have a quorum present, Chair.
Great, thank you. Before we move on, Nick.
Yes, I just want to take a brief moment during the introduction phase of the agenda to introduce our new interim city manager, Gary Halbert. He is no stranger to Santee. He actually was the deputy city manager for a little over 2 years here with the city a few years back. With that said, I'm sure you guys have probably had the chance to meet him, and you may see him at an event, or you may probably just chat with him after this Sparc meeting. But nevertheless, we're happy to have you here, Gary. And most recently to this appointment, he was actually the city manager for the city of Chula Vista. So very esteemed office, and we're very thrilled to have you here, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any comments or corrections? This is for the approval of the minutes. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and second. James, please call. I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk, please call.
Chair Velasco.
Aye.
Vice Chair Carlton.
Aye.
Committee Member Bickford.
Aye.
Committee Member Dressler.
aye.
Committee Member Markow.
Aye.
Committee Member Pishney.
Aye.
Committee Member Tuthill.
Aye.
That motion carries with committee members present.
Awesome, thank you. Next one, super excited for this. So let's move on right to it. This is item number 3. It's a Santee Community Center update. We'd like to welcome Stephen Miller, Principal Civil Engineer, to give us a presentation.
Good evening, committee members. My name is Steve Miller, Principal Engineer of the Capital Improvement Division, and happy to be here tonight to give you a project update and status on the Santee Community Center, a long-awaited project that has been in the books in Santee since, at least at a design phase, since 2018 and long since desired in the early 2000s. To start off, I wanted to kind of show kind of an entrance feature that this project will have. We're going to have this building located in Town Center Community Park. Building will be on the east side of the existing parking lot, which is next to the YMCA, and just north of Town Center Community Park East. Some project features. The structure is going to be 12,500 square feet. It'll be a 2-story building. It's going to house an event center with multi-purpose rooms. As part of the design concept with the architect and Santee's engineering department, we were trying to make this building as big and as flexible as the budget would allow for Santee. So as part of the design concept, we have a large multi-purpose rooms on the second floor, which can be broken apart in 2 areas, which I will show further on some site plans. A large event center room that can be split in half to change kind of the features that we would need for any kind of event, whether it's holiday parties, it's for birthdays, it's going to be for weddings. If there's events for teens or seniors or any group possible, we've tried to lay this facility out to mold for all of the uses and recreational uses that we have in the city. As part of the project, it can house and be part of our backup emergency operations center to the one that we have existing at Santee City Hall. This just gives the city a little bit extra flexibility in an emergency. City Hall is close to, wild open space area here, that we could in emergency move down there to help take care of emergency operation needs for the city. Another small feature that we have on there is it'll have a backup IT data center. This is critical for cities to have. It allows a redundancy for us to maintain our data and information technology in an emergency, or if there's some critical, thing that goes on in the city. Maybe someone strikes some fiber optic, hits power, and it drops communications to City Hall. This is critical for us to have. Some other features in the facility is to have food service truck parking that will be located in the service area of the yard, which I'll go further into and show you, just to provide optional features for food and events at this facility. There'll also be a stair-step seating area that's amphitheater type design, though it's not an amphitheater per se for concert events, but it's more of if recreation services, someone wants to have, a small guitar session, maybe a speaking issue, or just they just want to house things for the city that could be outdoors. Facilities designed with solar. It will have EV charging stations, and a feature it'll have full backup power for the entire facility. So if we are ever in an area where we're out of power, this facility could run. It would be an EOC backup data center. It could also be a cool zone. Summertime, we have needs of people who don't have air conditioning, and in an emergency, we could house people in times of need. Right here, I'd like to kind of showcase what the first floor is going to look of this facility. On the left-hand side is more of the office space, which would be located more in the southwest corner of it. This will house staff for the Community Services Department, staff that will be running the building. We also have our restrooms, elevators in the northwest corner. There'll be an entrance foyer in the center, housed by glass on the north entrance and southern entrance, with a reception area where as residents come into the building, they'll be greeted by a staff member to kind of show them where they need to go upstairs along staircases to the upstairs rooms, or move east into the event center rooms. In the event center room, it is designed to house 320 persons within an additional 1,800 square foot outside deck that will house 160 persons. So we can have a total seating capacity for this facility maxed out with 440 persons. In the top right corner, what's kind of notated as a number 3, that is a commercial food service kitchen for catering events to food prep. Food would come into this area for large events and then could be dispersed across through the event center room or across up through elevators to events that we have on the second floor deck. Kind of off to the left, we're showing some images of what would be the architect's renderings for the southern entrance, and also below is more of the event center, and I have some larger images I'll follow up further with. On the second floor, what you see on the west side, noted as number 2, this is a multi-purpose room. This room will be designed to split in half so that we can have certain scheduled events in the northern half of the building. We could have things in the southern half. Also, we have an outdoor patio deck that houses 80 persons. That's shown as note 15 below. We have a food service prep area that I'm kind of highlighting on the mouse. This is more where we could have drinks, food, pastries, whatever is any type of event would have here. And that was designed to serve with a patio facing out towards the patio deck, and also could provide food service to the upstairs multipurpose rooms. The current project status, plans and specifications, 100% designed, and they're in final review with the building department. The environmental studies have been completed for the for the project, and the document for environmental that was prepared for CEQA was a mitigated negative declaration. It was routed for public comment in April. Comments have been received, and the planning department is providing responses to those. The project will be ready to bid in August of 2025, and the current project construction cost is $23.5 million. One of the major delays in this project to get it built was funding. As part of the project of the $23.5 million, we have funding from ARPA, the American Rescue Plan, of $156,000 was set aside for this project. City General Fund dollars total $1.5 million. We have a state grant that we received for the project several years ago for $4.5 million, and the bulk funding for the project is by development impact fees. Those include fees for public facilities and park and lieu, which total to $17.3 million. We had a slight deficit in funding, and which was the reason the project was unable to move forward. Since this project has been a #1 priority for the City Council, in April, City Council authorized a $3.3 million loan against the city's general fund reserves to make up the gap to get construction moving forward, with that entire reserve to be paid back in full and paid for by development impact fees. So the total cost of the project is still only funded with $1.5 million of city funds, which is an amazing achievement for Santee to get a facility of this size with very little general fund dollars in total to complete the project. Our project schedule, we're looking at having final environmental comments back in July, going out to bid in August of 2025. A project of this size typically takes about 2 months to bid. We receive the bids, have staff go through, do analysis on the bid, and we're planning on coming back to the city council with a award of construction contract to the lowest bidder. It'll probably take about 2 months once we award a contract to get bonds, insurance, mobilization, things moving forward on the project to get started. We anticipate the first phase of the project, which would be the construction of a new parking lot on the north side of the YMCA. That would start in January and be completed in May, maybe June of next year, pending mostly rain delays that would be forecasted since we have a project starting construction in the beginning of rainy season. And then the building construction would start next summer and then take approximately 12 to 14 months to be completed. Once building construction is done, essentially the engineering department is going to turn this facility over to the community services department to start setting up final staffing, getting planning, more outreach to the community with the facility opening, our planned events and features that we'll have happen in that facility. And we're looking to open in October of 2027. Right here is a large rendering of, on the left, if you were to enter the facility from the main parking lot, there's a grand staircase that will lead up, surrounded by glass, to go upstairs to the multipurpose rooms and patio deck. Downstairs, we have an entrance area where staff will greet people coming into the facility to set them up with their events, schedules, coordination of other parks, events, and programs. They can walk through a double glass door to go out to a foyer to the south, which can lead to an event center patio deck. And also there's another patio deck behind the staff seating or staff office areas to the southwest corner that'll be open to the general public with tables and seatings or anything to have people congregate and have events there. We have some TVs and monitors that will be in on the entranceway where people can come in. We can kind of show things that are going on in the city, events and schedules and programs on that. And on the far right is a rendering. If you were to enter the facility from Town Center Community Park East and come over the pedestrian bridge over the Woodland Vista Creek Channel, you would look off to the northeast and see the glass entrance foyer on the south with the patio deck. This is a rendering of what the views would be within the large event center room. These will be large bifolding glass doors that will open up to just bring in natural light and air during daytime and can be closed at night with an outside patio. This room can be split in half, and this column in the center is where a dividing line can come in and close that off. This rendering here is the upstairs patio deck off the multi-purpose room. Half of it will be covered. The other half will be open just to give a more arid feel and outside feel when you're out on the patio. This will also have bifold doors that can open or be closed. This is designed so that you could have some event, a space, a use on the outside patio while the multi-purpose room could be used for whatever various event we would need in this facility. We have another service patio deck here that's just going to provide concession stands, food, drinks, and other amenities to users of the facility. And here is a more view looking north from the southern entrance towards the upstairs patio deck. This gives a better view of the covered patio deck below. There'll be some concrete seat walls, and we'll be installing tables and some other features underneath this for seating and congregation. And with that, that concludes my presentation on the project. I am here to answer any questions and also introduce you to Taylor Carrico, who will also be the project engineer and construction on this. And we are super excited to get this project going.
Awesome. Thank you for your presentation. We'll start off with questions. Dan, beautiful project, by the way. A great presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. No, I don't have any questions. Things look great.
Mr. Sidney? I'm going to go since I'm in this line. I I think it's great. I'm super excited for this to get started. Beautiful project. I think it's just going to fit well. I can't wait for the operations, and I can't wait for a couple years from now. A question on the development impact fees. Do we have enough projects on the books? Because you guys know all the projects coming. Do we have enough projects on the books to fully fund this before it even complete in construction?
For construction completion, yes, we're looking at the current development that's coming in, and we're confident that we should be able to receive those fees by the time construction is completed. The reason for the loan against the general fund reserve was typically we don't move forward with any project without 100% funds for all design, construction activities, and construction management unless it's in the bank. And so
we anticipate to have this funded before it's even complete with our park and lieu fees and all the development fees. Great.
correct.
And then something that I'm sure we'll talk about later with you, Mr. Nick, and your staff is the staffing plans and just the policies you're going to put in place on the usage of the space. And I think that'll be interesting when we get down towards that, and how do folks in the outside world, reserve this? What does that look like? So we'll talk about that further. Mr. Tudhill, questions, comments, concerns?
Glad to see it going.
Me too.
Been a long time.
Ms. Miracle.
Yes, it is a beautiful site, and I like the idea of multi-purpose because it gives us more availability to expand to, meet the needs of the community. I know that this has been in the works for quite some time. What, like 98? You guys been collecting these fees from construction?
Yes, and there was part of our development impact fee study in the 90s when we have the need for
Yeah.
projects. That's when the assessments were placed on development since then, and it's taken a long time to come up with this type of funding to fund this structure.
So the 23 million was from past developments and fees issued for permits and stuff, correct? Then?
Yes, so there's impact fees that all developers are paying as houses are built in Santee. We have drainage impact fees,
Yeah.
park and lieu, and facilities.
Those funds have been sitting since the 90s. Do they draw interest? Are they building or, because you got 23 million, you think the interest off of that?
Well, if you go back to the slide, there's not fully 23 million from from those fees that you're speaking of. The slide earlier showed where actually all the money's coming from, but a big chunk of it was, but not all 23 million. Yeah, if you want to go back to that slide.
Yeah,
There you go.
so the development impact fees is about $17 million.
Yeah, did we put that in crypto, we'd have a lot more, and we'd have a much bigger.
And this funding is split too, between public facility fees and park and lieu fees. And with my 20 years at Santee, we have spent a tremendous amount of park and lieu fees on park improvements and funded Mass Park, other
Yes.
park improvement projects. It's the public facility fees, which was solely dedicated for missing facilities, that it would be, in a perfect world, we would have loved to have funded it completely out of public facilities. But as part of this project, it is in a park. It is providing park improvements and recreation improvements for it. And so we were able to use both funding sources to get us there.
Oh, I can look forward to seeing this.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Hope
Michelle?
there's no delays.
Yeah, I think it looks great. And I know you mentioned that there were delays with the funding. I think my question was more, are there any anticipated or expected delays now that it's in the public comment, public feedback stage of things? I guess for me, I don't really know to what extent concerned citizens could delay a project or not.
With the comments that we received, we, as part of the CEQA process, we do a tremendous amount of studies. We do traffic studies. So some of the questions we get from the general public is, things like, will there be more cars? Have you planned for parking? Do we have enough pedestrian walkway access areas from our major streets to get there? And fortunately, on these areas, we're able to say yes. So I don't anticipate anything major adding delay to the project to move forward. I think the environmental team and the design team did a very good job in looking at this, especially we've had plenty of time to keep evaluating this and looking at it. But I'm pretty confident we should be able to move forward with this summer.
Yeah. And seeing that we have gigantic events right across the bridge, much bigger than 440 people, I think it was probably pretty easy to squash any concerns about walking and parking with the 440-person facility. Ms. Pishney,
I'm glad to see it finally
I know we're going to see it built in our lifetime.
going. Yeah. So, I mean, it looks beautiful, but good job on getting it going.
Yes, good job, Steph.
We are very happy to move this one forward.
Mr. Tuck.
YMCA parking is going to expand to the west on the dirt lot?
The YMCA parking where the grass lot is,
Yeah.
just north of it, yes.
That
So,
would be additional Y parking kind of thing, or everybody parking?
yes, so it's going to be, mostly you'll have users, if you're going to go to the YMCA, you're going to park in the lot closest to the Y, but it's going to allow transitional overflow, like in the evenings when some of the Y parking would diminish, some of that space could open up for users of the community center. And most recently, last month, the city traffic engineer brought a recommendation to council, which city council did approve, and it was a restripe on Park Center Drive from Mass Boulevard to Riverwalk Drive. We add an additional 62 parking stalls, kind of anticipation of if there's overflow, we're going to have more parking there. And that not just helps with the residents along the community, but the Y and events we have here and our special events like Santee Salutes that we have that clearly need as much parking as possible.
All right. Very cool. And I think in some of the old designs, we have like a net add of like 5 or 6 spots with the new parking lot. Wasn't there like everybody was concerned about how much parking was going to lose and then how much we're going to gain? It was like a net add of a tiny bit, right?
Before we looked at it, it was a small amount being added before we basically did a change order and added the parking in the YMCA.
Oh, okay.
Now we're looking at a net gain of approximately over 100 stalls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's great. I'm super excited and can't wait. Thank you for your presentation. Thanks for all your work, staff.
Yep.
It's just been awesome.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Next item. Let's move on to item number 4. Total Altruistic Project, T.A.P. update. Gary Bloom, can you come up and give us a, you guys all should have a little packet that was handed out.
Okay, I had an extra one, and I thought I only had 8, and I gave a set to Ann, so I thought maybe Dan might be out of it. So I'm Gary, the Total Altruism Project. I was here back in December and got permission to move forward with my litter grabbing tools that we installed at Big Rock Park April 12th. With that project, Mesa College does a study on the project. And they were doing a study on the litter before I installed it and afterwards. So this first graph that you're looking at here shows that the litter dropped, according to their study, by 33% in the park. Okay, and that was just from the public using it. It's interesting, they didn't see too many, I believe I understand that there are no city workers at that park. They're going to be doing that, like the maintenance crew and everything. It's like a hired company or something like that. So they didn't notice any trash picking up. They saw the lawn mowing and things like that. So that part of their study was to see how much is being picked up beforehand by the crew and how much afterwards, but they didn't see any of that. But the litter itself dropped by 33%. So that makes it pretty good. Okay, we're really happy with that. The second one, these are my data sheets that I make. And so I was going around and I was tallying up at each station when I go do a tally, how many were hanging there and if there were any missing or things like that. Kind of lets me know if things are being taken for good, if they're coming off the park and then being returned. And that's what we were seeing. Some days I would see, if you look on these -1s and +1s on the far right under notes, it shows that that day there were only 15 instead of the 16. We have 4 stations there. The next day it returned, okay? Then it was gone again and then it would return. And so what was going on is people were either taking them up to, Coles Mountain, or taking it to the community, which we know people do, and they walk their dog twice a day, so they'll take the grabbers off the park and pick up litter in the community or at the Mission Trails Park, and then the next day or the next time they return the grabbers. So for the first, I guess it's 18 days from April 12th to April 30th, we were missing 2. At the very bottom where there's a kind of a line that goes across, it says -2 RT. That's my running total. So for that period of time, at that date, there were 2 missing total for that. But if you flip it over at the very bottom for the whole month of May, 0. Nobody took anything for good. They all returned them. So community seems to love it. I have some names at the top that I write down. This long-haired blonde older woman would walk by. Her name was Joanne, and she was really happy and excited about it. And so there's another person, Tom Fletcher, and people would just talk to me, and they'd give me their names and thank me and everything like that. So it's really well accepted. One thing you don't have is I tried printing out in color, and it just wouldn't work out on my printer. And I tried it on another piece of paper, it didn't work out. And I tried black and white, and it didn't work out. But it was the sheriffs, the deputies, the sheriff deputies. They went out there one day, and I have a picture of them collecting litter, and they went around the park and did their community service work using my project. So that felt really good. So I get pictures sent to me, photos sent to me. Just after Easter, there was like a little teddy bear that someone put at station number 1 in one of the nets like this. So if any kid was walking by, they could see if they lost their teddy bear. So it feels really good. Everyone loves it. I get compliments from the pickleball people early in the morning when I'd go do it, and there was someone cleaning it. He goes, "Is this your project?" And then they thank me for it and everything. So any questions at all on it?
No, so one question is, so this is a resounding success. Is that what you're
I would like to say so. I wish it was a little higher in the litter removal section, but 33% is pretty good. And it may pick up. Oh, another thing that I see, my nets every now and then have the seaweed or the algae from the creek and some mud on it and things. That just means kids are playing with them in the creek, and they're doing biology. And I used to be a biology teacher, so I'm all for it and everything.
catching crawdads?
Catching crawdads or trying to catch the tadpoles, but they go through the net. So everything's going good. So yeah.
Very cool. And how, I have a question. How long are you planning on doing this? Was this just for a semester and you're removing them, or are these going to be a
No, I'm
permanent-
keeping them there. I use this colleges to prove that it's working or to show what effect it's having on it.
Gotcha.
So it helps them with their class. It's a specific class of biostatistics that if they go to a UC school or higher up in education, that class that they take is applicable towards their degree and things like that. So I'm hoping to get Grossmont and Cuyamaca involved in the next study, which would probably be fall semester. So.
And do you have any plans on growing in scope and looking at any of our other parks and possibly, have you thought about that? I'm sure you've thought about that.
Every spring and fall semester, I'd like to open up at least one other park, and then if I ever get my big sponsorship dream, then I have like a certification process and an internship program, and then I could do multiple ones during the year, and with hopes that it's not going to be costing anything to the city at all.
Very cool.
Yeah, because I mean, when the community is getting so much from it, when the Parks and Rec are getting it, when it benefits the local government, the environment, I mean, all these things, the education system from preschool all the way through college, someone's got to pick up on that and want to join, so that's what I'm hoping for.
Very
All right.
cool. Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Michelle.
I guess one thing that I was wondering, since it's Big Rock Park and that's my home park, as far as the trash picking goes, did you guys observe that it was like mostly regulars using the grabbers? Like I'm thinking the pickleball people that are there every single day, or was there like also a lot of casual usage mixed in? Just
Families, we were seeing little kids and parents do it. I was reported that it was just the casual workers or walkers and things like that, people in the park. Also the parties, when they have the big piñata parties, afterwards they'd have their kids go by and pick up all the litter that they did. One of the things that I wasn't sure about with the Mesa College that maybe have brought the litter down than what I was hoping for, 33%, was that the confetti, like the little silver pieces, I'd go there one day and I'd see the confetti on the ground. I'd come back a day or two later and it was still there. Come back a day or two, and it's worked in. It's the old stuff. I wasn't sure if those students were counting the same pieces over and over and over again, which you'd have to really see and get to, as opposed to the stuff that's more on the surface. So I don't know how that was measured.
So that could have messed up your numbers.
It could have, yeah.
Well, we do have a lot of active parks here in Santee, and you know that from the first time we talked about it. But I mean, there's so many folks that go out with their dogs every day.
yeah.
We have a bunch of them in the room right now, and with our trail, you know, with our Walker Trail, with Mass Park. I mean, those are highly utilized parks. So I'd love to see this grow if you get the funding and if you get the interest.
Yeah, I do. I do have the interest, and I think it would be beneficial and helpful to the Grossmont College, which is so close by, and Cuyamaca. So that's why I want to get them involved.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Next, community service updates. We are going to start off with staff with Nick. What you got?
Thank you, Chairperson. I don't have much to talk about today, but I do want to just highlight a deferred maintenance project that we just completed at one of our oldest parks here in the city of Santee. Originally a county park, actually, believe it or not, and then it got deeded over to the city. The park is Woodland Vista Park. And with that said, we did a small resurfacing project at Woodland Vista Park. And if you don't mind, maybe probably pull up the first slide.
Sure.
Very deteriorated courts. We have a basketball court there, and we also have a tennis court. There was a need in the community to expand pickleball access. So with that said, right now, for everyone's knowledge, you know, there's the basketball court. There's before and after the basketball court. There is a need for increased pickleball access in the community. So with that said, we went ahead and striped the tennis court for pickleball access. So with that said, there's more opportunities for the community to enjoy pickleball, Big Rock being the focal point of the community for Big Rock and for pickleball access. There is still tennis at Shadow Hill Park, and there is still tennis at Santana High School via an agreement that we have with the school district. So with that said, I just wanted to share some of the improvements with our esteemed Sparc committee and just let you guys know that some of these things are moving forward. We do have a plan to also resurface Mass Park, hopefully this upcoming fiscal year. We also want to resurface the courts at Shadow Hill Park, both the basketball and the tennis court. Keep in mind, we do want to keep Shadow Hill strictly tennis because we want to make sure there's some equity in the concept of tennis and pickleball. So with that said, that closes out our deferred maintenance project for Woodland Vista Park. There are some other plans for Woodland Vista Park. There's a plan in the CIP to get a new restroom there, get a new fabricated restroom, and also develop a new playground with improved ADA access as well. But I believe that project is marked year 3 of the CIP calendar. With that said, there's also intentions to bring a contract before City Council on the June 11th meeting to revamp the playground at Shadow Hill Park. It's also going to come with a lot of ADA improvements, a new shade, and there's also an intention to work on a separate contract, like I mentioned earlier, to resurface both courts, get a new irrigation system, CalSense 3000s, also get a new park monument sign, and also work with staff to paint a lot of the apparatuses that need more paint, like the basketball court, the poles, the walking poles, and just general areas that need just more life. So in general, Shadow Hill Park is going to get a pretty massive uplift in these next few months. Other than that, that's really about it.
Cool. Thank you. Anne. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions? Sorry.
There's no nets for pickleball at Woodland Vista. Have we had complaints, comments? The pickleball people, I do not play pickleball, but the pickleball people that I talk to are like, well, we'll just go play at Big Rock because it's not that easy to haul our nets around. So I don't know if there's any been feedback from the community.
No, that's an astute question. Right now, we don't have any feedback regarding individuals having any qualms in regards to bringing their own nets, but we do have a survey out right now, and it's going to be closing in the next few weeks. In the survey, it does allude to the fact, if you're a pickleball player or a tennis player, do you have a preferred time? Do you have a preference, in having perhaps a city net or not? There's a very robust amount of questions that we were able to actually get some feedback from and actually develop a plan. For the most part, right now, city, Park and Rec, we do not have any intentions to put out nets out there.
When we first started at Big Rock, we were using, that was tennis and pickleball. Were the nets provided by the pickleball players, or did we were they left out there all the time? Is there vandalism problems? I mean, if the nets are just left and are kind of portable, is that a problem?
Okay, so the trend in pickleball is now that portable nets are actually like pulled up into a little backpack. So they're becoming more and more popular because probably the lack of pickleball courts in the country, and people just want to play wherever they can play.
Right.
So when we started at Big Rock Park, we had portable nets, and actually I think it was half sponsored and half paid possibly by the city or Sparc. And they had a volunteer group that would set them up every day and break them down whenever their designated hours were. Then it evolved to...
When they broke them down, did they take them home, or
we had a storage shed on property.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was a volunteer group who had access to that. They would set them up, bring them up. That's right at the very beginning stages of pickleball. As the trend continued to become more popular, there was a variety of different improvements that happened regarding squaring the corners, regarding, I think you've probably heard of all of these things, resurfacing, restriping. Eventually, the city did purchase something called semi-portable nets, which really were not. So you could, if you needed to, roll them off, but they were kind of difficult and cumbersome. So those actually exist currently right now on our pickleball courts. Movable if needed, but we don't move them. We actually have a volunteer group that opens the pickleball courts at Big Rock Park. They organized and they open at 8 a.m. and then they close them at dusk. So it probably prevents a lot of vandalism and on the court in general.
So is there, I'm just being devil's advocate because, like I said, I don't play pickleball, but is there a chance maybe that those initial nets could be moved over?
From what I've heard, because it's been a pretty long process, that they're not in working condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aged out, as it
They've
were.
aged out and storage shedded out. So, but the trend right now is to, when you buy a little starter pickleball set, you get a net with it. Yeah.
Cool. Any more questions about the wood? Okay, Ann, go ahead and.
All right. I got lots of videos. Welcome to summer.
We love videos.
So, movie in the park this Saturday. If you got nothing better to do, come on and see Moana 2 over at Town Center Park. So hopefully the weather will be great, and we will see you there. One more. Actually, I have two more, but I'll give you one other one. All right. Concerts start a week from tomorrow. So our first concert of the summer is actually a tribute to Taylor Swift. Cassie B will be performing. We anticipate a large crowd for that. Taylor Swift's a little popular. So that'll kick off the summer with a real big bang. So hopefully you'll be able to make it out to some of the concerts. The only week we don't have it is when we have the 4th of July, which is a day later, and we have lots of concerts that day as well. So so we run all the way till, I want to say, mid-August off the top of my head. I also wanted to give you an update on Brews and Bites early bird ticket sales, which is started on April 1st and end on June 30th. The prices do increase on July 1st. We have 97 general admission tickets sold, 5, it's either a 5 or an 8. 5 TD tickets. We have 2 VIP tables sold. So a total of 97 tickets are in anticipation, and we would love to have about 1,200 people there. Also, I'm going to finish that with Santee Salutes. So 4th of July, we've had it for many, many years. The festival is all day, basically, 2 o'clock, parking lots open, and we have canopies that went on sale on May 1st. The canopies are sold out, and we have about 500, 600 parking spots, and we've sold about half of those right now. So all the surrounding community areas has a $10 parking spot. If you want to buy that in advance, you're more than welcome to bicycle, walk, carpool. And we also will have shuttles this year running from Costco. So I will show you the Santee Salutes. So don't forget, July 4th. All right, that's the end of my videos. But hopefully we'll see you there as well. Should be a fun day. Wanted to respond to a question that came up at the last Sparc meeting. I wasn't here, regarding AEDs in the park. We actually have deployed 5 AEDs in snack bars at Mass Park, Town Center West, Town Center East, West Hills Park, and Big Rock Park. Within the next few weeks, we actually plan to pilot putting an outside access box that you would access through calling 911. So that means 24/7 you'd have access to the AEDs. You wouldn't have to have the snack bar be open so you could access them. And I'm currently working with the fire department to get that all in place. And we plan to do a pilot, see how it lasts. The boxes are pretty sturdy. They actually do have a fan in them so they don't overheat. And you call 911 to get the access code to get into them at Big Rock Park and Town Center East Park. So we're going to see how those last, and hopefully they will be a benefit to the community. Recreation programs, our spring classes will be performing at the San Diego County Fair on June 12th, just in case you happen to be there. Or want to go and watch them. They'll be at the infield stage. Summer day camp and specialty camp registration is going on. A lot of our weekly camps are already filled up, and day camp starts June 12th again. Lots of things are happening on June 12th. Our teens, unfortunately, had a free swim day, and we had lightning. What do we have lightning here in Santee? Maybe once a year? Well, we do it on Teen Swim Day. So they had to close the pool. So unfortunately, it kind of foiled our plans for that. But we do have a free Santee resident swim day coming up at the Aquatic Center. That's operated by the Y on June 7th. So anybody who's a resident for any of the swim sessions can get in for free. Also for our teens, we have 15 junior leaders who will be starting with us on June 16th. They go through an intensive week of training, and then they assist the day camp operations. So a lot of our existing staff actually come from our junior leader program. In fact, we are hiring 9 new summer hires. So they are in the process and will be onboarded. I think tomorrow's their day to come on officially. Our seniors, we have ongoing calendars as well as Teen Center calendar at the front. On May 16th, we had a luncheon and we had 65 seniors attend. It was pretty popular. They had a magician there. They liked it. I wanted to let you know that the grass at Town Center Park East, which is where the concerts are held, opened on May 31st, and currently we are hosting the California Police Athletic Federation games until this Friday at that park, in addition to the synthetic fields. And that's it. If you have any questions, or you can find more information at santeerec.com or santeespecialevents.com. Any questions?
Questions? I have one question on our summer concerts.
Yeah.
And I asked you this, I think I asked offline, but you've had meetings with our sheriff's officers, and we have a plan in place to keep our rowdy teenagers that every single year seem to want to fight and
What?
bring the helicopters out on our first summer concerts.
Isn't that the tradition?
So
Dan?
we have a plan, and you've spoke with our law. Yes, it's a tradition now. It's been 3 years, 4 years. So you've had a meeting and worked on something to mitigate this, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
This time.
Yeah, we've met with their entire cops team as well as the lieutenant and people who will be scheduled primarily at that location. We anticipate the first concert, which will be very popular, to have a very obvious sheriff's presence.
Okay. I think the biggest thing is to talk to our new lieutenant to tell him not to bring out the helicopter for kids fighting, because that looks really, 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 really bad for our city, because it's not
Sheriffs
that big
do
of a deal.
whatever's necessary, so
Yeah.
I support the
All right,
sheriffs.
cool. Great. Sam, I knew you had some updates for me. Yeah.
Good evening, committee members. Sam Ransbury, Public Services Manager. Two brief updates. First one is our transition from contracted park maintenance is going well. We're working at the speed of government, so it takes time. Council approved the change back in February, and since then we've been gearing up, buying equipment. We're going to get 5 trucks in a couple weeks. We hired 5 full-time employees. We're doing background checks on 2 more part-time employees. We have purchased sea containers, lawnmowers, aerators. We're almost there to the finish line, but we are on schedule, if not a little bit ahead of schedule on things. So July 1st, we take over the parks. It's going to be a far better product, in my opinion, and I'm looking forward to that. Update number 2 on a lighter note. The robot lawnmower at Weston Park, it's been in action for a year now. No issues, minor hiccups. Maybe it can't get back and forth into its doghouse, which is its charging station at night. So we get an alert and go there. But no one's tried to steal it. There's a geo fence around the whole park. If that lawnmower were to be picked up and removed, we would get an alert. It hasn't had any issues. So it worked so well that we bought 2 more. We got one at Sky Ranch, and we got one at Shadow Hill Park. So we're going to pilot those, and I anticipate good things, which will lower staff time when we take over the parks. We won't have to mow them anymore, meaning we won't have to tow a big trailer up Sky Ranch and unload a giant lawnmower and mow the grass and all that. We have a robot doing it. It still requires weed whacking and edging around the perimeters where the robot can't get to, but overall, very good program. If budget allows, we might expand further, but we're going to see how these 3 go.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Thanks, Sam. Any questions? Yes, Stan.
Not a question, but I do want to thank you and your crew for supporting the Kiwanis and over at the Special Olympics Southern California this month. Appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Our pleasure, sir.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay, committee updates, reports, and general announcements. I'm going to start over with you, Dan, because I know you had some exciting stuff going on this last month.
Oh my, we've just been sitting around with the Kiwanis clubs. I swear. No, we had the Junior Olympics this month, and then a week later we had the Special Olympics, and then a week later we had the Santee Street Fair. So we were a little bit busy this month. And things went really well. Like I said, thanks to Sam and his crew for loaning us some barricades, and of course they supply the Olympic torch, and so appreciate that. This month we've got scholarships going out. We've got Hope of America going out, where we recognize some outstanding 8th grade promotions. And we're opening. We're working on opening a new Kiwanis club in El Cajon. So we've got all that going on this month.
Great, thank you, sir. Cindy. I have just one announcement today. Was the annual disc golf field trip from Carlton Hills, and I was a part of that. And it's been a very cool thing we've done since we redid Mass Park As some of you know, Mass Park in the olden days, before we even rebuilt it to it's grander now, a lot of the schools wouldn't have field trips at Mass Park because, 10 years ago it wasn't great and it was overgrown and there was a lot of homeless living there. So once we fixed it up, threw a disc golf course in there and kind of naturally got rid of a lot of the urban campers, they started allowing the field trips, and then, it was shut down for a couple years. So this has been, I wish I could remember, it's either 7 or 8 years that I've had the pleasure of going out there with a couple teachers and about 40 Rugrats and show them disc golf and try to grow the sport. But it's a really fun event, and my only complaint was I got bit about 10 times from mosquitoes in the daytime, which I've never had that before. Luckily, I think I saw the vectors going out this Friday, Saturday, and spraying, or the county bug people are going this. But anyways, it was a great event, and I'm super stoked to be a part of it. And the community came out and helped. I had some volunteers of some of the seniors that play disc golf every single day. They came out and grabbed they volunteered and grabbed a group of kids. So it was a really fun event. Mr. Tuthill.
I have nothing for the good of the order, sir.
Linda, you do stuff every single day. You have no announcements about our cool parks or anything?
I'm loving everything they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Linda, I saw her about 7 times this week taking pictures at different events. Any of them do with our parks and our cool recreation?
Well, we had the Santee Street Fair. We had the Santee Pride Walk, which was really nice. Great day. I don't know, what other park did I? I've been at so many events.
Yeah, you do way too much. You do so much as me.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Michelle.
Not a fully formed idea, but just a couple of different people have reached out to me about this. I think some friends were wondering what it would take for the city to have a sort of like let's say the first Saturday of every month or whatever. It doesn't have to be Saturday, but just some designated regular day. A large grassy area at one of the parks is reserved strictly for like a teacher in residence sort of thing. So like if you're a registered yoga teacher or something, you could book one of those Saturdays. That way people could get exposed to your style of teaching. If you're a Tai Chi teacher, you could book one of the other Saturdays, something like some sort of like rotating teachers schedule, third space for the community sort of thing. I don't have like full details of all of this sort of stuff, but the idea is that like there's a specific time and place for people to try these different
Well, I will let Ann, because I saw her come up to the podium. I think if you were to throw that together as a plan, you could do that right now. Ann.
So I just wanted to mention, we do have something called a park use permit that independent instructors, so they want to have yoga in the park, or they, not necessarily our programs, but other people in the community, if they're like, oh, I teach Tai Chi, I think it'd be great if I could expose the community. We do allow them to permit a portion of the park and do their types of classes there. Now, if it becomes into a profit-making situation, it changes the dynamic. But if it's just a trial class and they just want a one-off, we've done it with like stroller strides and other types of activities in the park. So there's at least that avenue.
Okay, yeah, I think like I wanted to take it a little step further so that there's like scheduling programming of sorts. That way the community can look forward to the aspect of first Saturday of every month, there's a new teacher coming to Mass Park, Big Rock Park, whatever, but they know ahead of time what it's going to be, so they can plan like, oh, June is Tai Chi, I'm not really into that, but July is yoga, so maybe I'll go to that one.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Thank you, Ms. Michelle. Christy?
I have nothing to share, but thank you for asking.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to number 7. We have non-agenda public comment, and Mr. City Clerk.
I do have one speaker, Peter Deal.
Great. I'd like to introduce Peter Deal to the podium. He's going to hand you out a nifty little...
Good evening. I've seen you all before. And I love your glasses. They're green. Dean and I were chatting earlier, and I was actually going to come out here and chat with you anyway. The Santee Community Foundation has been a bit of a caterpillar the last few years and has cocooned itself. But I am proud to announce that it has emerged as a beautiful butterfly. We have a new logo that I'm wearing on my shirt. We have a new website. We have a new board. And we are stretching out our wings from that cocoon and starting to learn to fly again. We have a great fundraiser going on right now at the stand, passing out a little flyer on that. You've probably all heard of a flyer night. The stand is a new restaurant in Santee over by, in the Sprouts shopping center. They are donating 25% of their income if you mention the Santee Community Foundation. So although we do have a little bit of money in the coffers right now, we're hoping that that will add to it, and we can start making more of a presence in the community. You'll start seeing us at the Santee Summer Concerts, the Brews and Bites. We have two of your esteemed colleagues on our board. Mr. Velasco and Dr. Tuthill serve on the board of the Santee Community Foundation, which I think presents a great opportunity to bring back things that are presented here to Sparc in sort of an official capacity and public venue, that they can come back to the foundation to be looked at for a project that might require funding that's outside of the city purview as it is right now. We just recently were asked to take on a bigger role in the Veterans Memorial. We'll be helping to schedule events there and being responsible for fundraising on the replacement of the flags that's done every 6 months. So we're looking forward to that. One, it gets our name out there, and two, it's just that really that memorial has become a nice centerpiece for the community. And right now, it's one thing I've heard it described as is something that people drive by. And we'd like to try to change that and make it more of like a public park that people want to go to and visit. And in doing so, we want to just encourage more local organizations to take part in things that happen at the Veterans Memorial. So if you have any questions, Chair Velasco might allow me a few more minutes. Otherwise, I'm available.
You have some more time for questions.
Otherwise, I'm available afterwards if anybody wanted to chat about the Santee Community Foundation.
Anyone have any questions up here?
The stand is doing the 25% now?
It started on Monday, June 2nd. They're running it for a week, which I've been on different PTAs and foundations, and we've all done a flyer night. We've probably all participated in one. I've never seen one where they offered it for a full week, and it's all day. It's 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. All you have to do is mention the Santee Community Foundation.
Yes. And it's exciting. I actually spoke with I'm pretty friendly with the general manager in there, and one of the comments she made, she does a lot of these. She's opened a lot of the stores, usually up north, and she moved down here to open up the store, and she said this is the first time she's seen a week long. So I've been there about 10 times in the last 14 days since they opened. But it's really good food, and it's really cool. And when you mention it, it actually pops up on your touch panel when you're paying. It says Santee Community Foundation, 25%. And so if you haven't been there yet, and if you're a salad eater, they have some amazing salads and other stuff. They're not a salad place. They're a hamburger place, but I have my favorite hamburger somewhere else. So
I had the Chinese chicken salad the other day, and it was pretty good. And I have heard feedback that it's a little on the higher end. It's not fast food. It's a nice restaurant.
Yeah,
but the food is well worth it. The portion sizes are good. And they have a kids menu, which anybody can order from. I had the turkey hamburger and added lettuce and tomatoes, and it came with sides for $6.99. For
But
me,
getting
that's
back to
a value
foundation,
meal.
we're very excited. I'm very excited to be a part of this with Dr. Tuthill and Peter, and we're resurrecting this thing, and it's gonna be great. You're gonna see us out there, and I'm really excited about it because it's something to where we can go out there and ask for some money, and we can make a difference on some areas that maybe the city doesn't have the funding for. So.
I think you're all going to hear a lot more about the Santee Community Foundation at your monthly meetings. There's, I think, Dean or Dr. Tuthill or myself will be presenting
Yes.
what we're doing and what we have planned.
And any fundraising events, so you guys can come and
Absolutely.
participate. Or if you have any rich friends, they can throw some money there. So, all right, great. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. And I have a shirt for you. And Dr. Tuthill, I just need to know your size, and we'll get a shirt for you as well. All right, I got one for you.
Medium. Okay.
Are you doing the white?
It'll be just like this, correct?
The colors pop on the white.
Thank you.
Might get dirty easier, but it looks really sharp.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir. Okay, that was our only speaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, with that being said, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. No further business, and this meeting's now adjourned. Thank you.